Hey y'all, what is going on? This is Jesse Boats from the 19th hole. It is Tuesday, which means it is a tournament announcement day. So before we start talking about the upcoming tournament, definitely want to draw your attention to the bottom of the screen here. We got my Facebook, my Twitter, and my Snapchat names for my social media. So if you want to follow me on any of those platforms, there's the information, and you are definitely welcome to do so. If you are on Facebook and you are looking for a Golf Clash community, definitely would encourage you to search for Golf Clash the 19th hole, which is the community that I created, and it's just a great place to hang out, ask questions, and learn the game of Golf Clash. Along with the actual regular community, we have a few other pages, pro and expert tournament pages, where we will put shots on those pages with videos and setups and all that kind of good stuff. So that's for pro and expert. And then we also just have a regular tournament page inside of the 19th hole, which we are kind of getting geared up and ready to use, where we will actually do like inside tournaments for just the 19th hole and anybody else in Golf Clash that wants to be involved. But we will play, friendlies and fun little different tournament setups and stuff like that. So definitely encourage you to get active in the community and have some fun. So next tournament, the touchdown tournament, and with it being Super Bowl Sunday coming up, it's not really a surprise that we've got the touchdown tournament. So if you are someone that likes American football, it makes a lot of sense. We got the Kansas City Chiefs, we got the San Francisco 49ers. So if you are someone that's going to watch the game and has an interest in the game, I want you all to go into the comments of this video and say who you think is going to win. Will it be the Chiefs or the 49ers? And at the end of the video, I will say who I think it's going to be. So let's go ahead and get started and talk about this video. The Touchdown Tournament, February 3rd. 4 divisions of play, like always. You got the Rookie, Pro, Expert, and Masters. What you see here on this screen is the prizes that you can win for bringing home the gold banner on the weekend. So if you get to the weekend, you're going to get a prize chest, and your prizes will scale down from what you see here on the screen. Keep in mind you can only play up to the level in which you are a weekly level. Whatever weekly league you are in is the level that you can play up to. So if you're only in Pro Weekly League, you can only play up to Pro, and you can also play Rookie. So if you're in Masters Weekly League, that means you can play any of these levels that you want. But keep in mind, whatever level you do choose, you will be playing from other members of your weekly league. So if like your Masters 3, and you play a rookie tournament, you're still going to be playing against other Masters 3 level players. So it's not like you get to drop down and beat up on the rookie weekly league players. So yeah, definitely keep that in mind when you are trying to decide what you want to play, because you can win extra chests during the tournament. Just like you win chests in tour play, you win similar chests in tournament play. Whenever you win a hole, you're going to win a chest. And depending on what level of tournament you're playing in, that level of chest will get bigger. So rookies are, level 3, pros level 6, expert level 9, and masters level 12 tour chests. And from what I've been told and what I've noticed, it seems like the cards that you receive from these chests are a little bit more increased than what you would get from just the regular tour chests. These are the rules for each division of play, broken down by tee, wind, and needle speed increases. So as you can see, the rookies play from the first tee, the expert pro play from the second tee, the masters play from the third tee. Wind increased as your levels increase, as does the needle speed. And then you got the hidden spin in expert and masters, which means those in those divisions cannot see spin adjustments or ball guides. So you will be able to see them in the rookie and the pro. Here's the tournament course, a Sunshine Glades course, which is the same course they used in the Monster Marsh tournament. So if you are someone that's familiar with YouTube, you can go onto my YouTube channel and search Monster Marsh, and then you can just put Jesse both at the end of it, which will bring up all of my Monster Marsh content. Playthroughs, it's going to bring up all of my expert content as far as playing and qualifying, weekend round, opening round, all that good stuff. It's the same course, so it's definitely a good idea to check that out and get some ideas for how these holes may be played. Will they change up the winds? Will they be the same winds? It's really tough to tell. There have been some courses where they leave the winds the same, so if that's the case, then all these holes will play the same exact. But there's always the possibility that they will change up the holes, and the winds in them, which is what I hope they do. So it's actually going to, it's going to randomize it a little bit more, and we'll have to dial in the shots. So we'll just have to kind of wait and see how it goes. As far as playing these in the tours, they're only going to be available on tours 5 and 7. Currently, they're already available to play on tour 7, the Sunshine Glades, and then Thursday it'll become available on 5. The difference between those two tours is in tour 5, there's only 2 courses. So you're going to only be competing against one other course to try to get these holes. If you play in tour 7, there's 3 total courses. So I mean, you got to compete against 2 other courses trying to get these holes to hopefully drop so that you can practice them. So I would suggest tour 5 would be the better place to try to get lucky and find these holes to play in the tournament. Although, tour 5 I think is the first tee, and tour 7 will be the second tee, so that would be those differences. So yeah, if you want to play from the second tee, then if you want to play and practice, tour 7 is what you're gonna have to play in, and just kind of cross your fingers and hopefully you get lucky and get the holes quickly. Alright, so what I'm going to do next is we're going to walk through these holes 1 through 9 real quick, and then we will be finished. So, right, 1 second, be right back. Alright, so we got hole number 1 here. We're starting out with a par 4. This hole right here is definitely a hole that I definitely can see as being a must-eagle hole. This is one of those par 4s that really kind of play more like a par 3, in my opinion. Plus 20% is the elevation that we play. The main goal is to kind of bounce the shot off the fairway right there with backspin and left curl. You bounce it over the bunker, land it just past the bunker, and then roll it out towards the hole. This is definitely a par 4 where you have a good chance of even getting the ace on. There's also a way you can play this hole, with the rough bump, where you bump it into the rough there with some top spin and a lot of right spin, and you just roll it onto the green. That's not a way to play the hole to really go for the ace, but with the right wind, it could be a very easy way to just kind of make sure to get your eagle and go on. But the most important part of this hole is to get it to where your ball guide is extended just over this rough right here for the bounce. So yeah, plus 20% is the way to play this hole from rookie and pro expert tees. Hole number 2 here, and I want to say this is the hole we had as hole number 1 in the Monster Marsh. Now this hole right here, as far as the elevation goes, we play it with pretty much a base elevation of plus 10. Now I say base because sometimes elevations can be different in the tournament, and not quite because there really are far more downhill or uphill, because we'll have a different wind and we may just kind of factor in our adjustment into the elevation for that specific wind. So like if we had a headwind, in the last tournament, we had a headwind in the expert, and we played it at like plus 25%. Not because it's 20%, 25% downhill, but because we were factoring in that headwind into the elevation to make it easier for our adjustment. So the way you can play this one, we played it last time, was a shot. You can play it off that fairway in the rookie with the backbone or the Goliath. You can play rough bumps here, or you can play a rough bump up there at the top. And we'll just have to see what kind of wind we have for the tournament. And the type of wind and the direction of the wind can definitely play a key factor as to what position we play off of with this hole, and then also what the adjusted elevation number is going to be for this hole. But the base elevation is plus 10% for this hole. Hole number 3, we playing this one with plus 10% off the tee box, and we're really just trying to bounce it off this fairway here and then up to the second fairway. And getting far up in the fairway is the best way to play this hole. From there, it leaves you a 0% sniper shot, where you're going to bounce it off this fairway and then try to roll it onto the hole. Last tournament we had it played where we played a safe drive up to this area right here, and then we were playing a rough bump right here off this rough section here into the hole that way. And that worked out well with the wind that we had in the last tournament. And then again, you'll see some people playing this hole with like an APOC, a higher level APOCs, and power 5 balls, where they just absolutely try to blast the shot where they land it on the end of this fairway, they bounce over, hit this fairway, and then possibly bounce over that rough and then roll it up to the hole. You know, if you have the correct wind for that shot is also there and available for the higher level divisions. If you are playing in the lower level divisions, most likely you're just going to be playing your drive, you know, safe, you know, where you bounce up into this fairway, and then you play either your sniper or your Viper shot to the hole that way, with left spin and, you know, like 2 to 3 bars of backspin. Hole number 4, and this one right here is a hole that we play most of the time. You're going to see people play their driver off this fairway, trying to get up into this zone right here. From there, you know, you're going to have a nice little wedge or short iron chip to the hole. Playing a wedge, I'd play plus 20%. For the drive, though, I would play plus 10%, no matter what. You know, if you have, you know, a really weird wind, you know, and you want to play it a little bit more conservatively, you can play a shot where you bounce it off this fairway, bump it in the rough here, and then roll it out onto this fairway here. From there, then you're going to have a short iron shot to the hole, and that's definitely a shot that you could dial in for sure. You know, I think that shot right there is like 0%, it could be 10%. I might be wrong. I can't remember exactly what it was we played last time we had this hole in the tournament, but it's somewhere around 0 to 10% on that second shot. If you're short iron range up here, then it's you know, 0%. If you're playing the wedge, though, it's a plus 20%. Let's see. There's also another way you can play this hole in the rookie, where you try to bounce it off this fairway. This would be like with a big topper, and you hit that rough and then roll out. It's a very dangerous way to play this hole, and you could even play it that way in higher level divisions, like with a higher level Thor club, you know, where you're playing that same type of method. But it's also a way that you can play where if you do hit great left or great right, then you could be in this water. So it's definitely a very high risk reward type shot, but it's definitely one that I've seen people use and seen people use well. It's definitely a way that you can play this hole and possibly get the ace on the hole. So keep that in mind as well. Hole 5. This is just a par 3 that we've seen many times in the tournament. Plus 20% here. You know, you're going to be playing a driver in the second tee if you have a headwind, or you'd be playing a sniper from back into here. You know, you're just trying to roll this one. You're trying to get that second bounce somewhere there around the edge of the fringe of the green with the ball guide to the hole on this one. This is just a hole that we've had so many times. I think there was a no moving target shot in Expert last time on this hole even. But, you know, all that kind of stuff comes down to tournament wins and what kind of wind we do get in the tournament. But, you know, general rule is, you know, a Viper sniper shot for the rookies. And then for the pro expert with a headwind, you're going to use a driver with backspin like quarterback, Thor, Rocket. And if you have a tailwind or side wind, you know, if a tail side wind, you'll use probably a sniper. But if you have a wind that's kind of in between tail and head, then you have an option of a sniper or a driver on that hole. But plus 20% is the general base elevation for that hole. Hole number 6, we're playing plus 10%. And you can either go to the right-hand side or to the left-hand side. If you go to the left-hand side, it's usually because you have a nice tailwind, and we can try to jump over this water. That's really the only reason you would go left. If you play left, then that sets you up for like a little bit of a nice rough bump right there with the Goliath, I guess. And if you get far enough up that fairway with a really good tailwind, it would be a Hornet is what you would want to use right there. But if you play it to the right-hand side, you're going to be playing a sniper shot where you bounce it here in this fairway through these little bushes, and you try to roll it out into the hole for the albatross. And that's how you would play that shot. So the way we would play that is plus 10% on the drive, and then if we're playing on the right-hand side, it's 0%. And if you're playing on the left-hand side, it's plus 10% for the second shot. So 10% on the drive, no matter which way you play it. But then on the left, it's 10% for the second shot. On the right, it's 0% for the second shot. All right. Next hole we got is hole 7. This one right here. You know, the options on this hole depends on the division you're playing, really. Plus 10% for the drive. You know, normally you're just going to play your drive up the left-hand side, bounce it over and up this fairway, trying to get a decent roll out. From there, you have a chance with a long iron or a short iron to the green, and I would play that one at plus 10% as well. You know, you can play the shot short here and then go for a rough bump right here. That's also an option. And then even in the last tournament, there was some people playing the shot short into this zone right here, and then playing a sniper shot up the right-hand side middle, and just using that ball guide to your advantage. And that was a shot that I hit a few times in the last tournament, so that's definitely going to be an option on the table. So, you know, you got kind of 3 solid ways that you can really go at this hole. You know, if you want to go for the rough bump, you have that option. If you want to go for like a hornet thorn shot, you have that option to the far left. Or if you want to set up short and go for the sniper to the right, that's also an option of play as well. Hole number 8, par 3. We'll play this one at plus 10%. And this percentage could definitely change depending on the wind that we have. This would be one of those holes where we just change the elevation instead of worrying about the offset of the shot. But that's definitely wind dependent. So if you're playing in the rookie, you're looking at either a Goliath with you know, certain wind or a Viper Sniper combination. So you know, if you have a straight tailwind, you know, it may be more of the Goliath that we're looking at. If you have a side wind or any kind of a head-ish wind, then we could definitely use the Viper or the Sniper. And all that may depend on where you want to land your shot on that fairway as to which of those clubs you do end up using. Just want to make sure you don't end up in between clubs during an adjustment, because there's nothing worse than trying to figure out an adjustment for a club that you're not you know, assuming you're going to be using, you know. So plus 10% on the drive, and then pro and expert, you know, is most likely going to be using a sniper on this hole. There is a small outside chance at a rough bump there with the quarterback and like a wind ball. But to me, that's really dependent wind-wise. Like if you have a side wind, then that may be a better option. I just hate playing a shot like that, you know, unless you have a good side wind that lines you up with that rough. But, you know, this is a hole where you're going to see a lot of close zoom-ins. You know, you're going to see some people drop it, but more than likely, most people you're going to see those slow-mo close zoom-ins to the hole as the ball goes flying by the hole. So, yeah, this should be an interesting hole, and it's definitely going to be a hole that will help win you a medal if you end up dropping it on the weekend. Hole number 9, it's a very interesting hole to finish up with. We got a plus 10% on the drive, and the safe way to play it is to the right-hand side, where you bounce it over to this section right here, or you could try to go a little bit more with topspin and get it a little bit farther up into that section right there. From there, you're playing kind of curl shots around these trees to the green. All, you know, pretty much you're giving up the chance at the albatross to hopefully go for an easier eagle. Now, everybody else, I think, that's playing for a medal is going to be playing for the albatross. And to play that, you know, you got to play it to the left-hand side. That may require a power ball. That may require more overpower. It's just going to depend on the division and the wind that you are playing in that division. What you want to do, though, is you want the shot to hit here, bounce over, and you want to get a good roll up this fairway to about that zone right there, or even better. And depending on where you're at on the drive will definitely depend on the type of shot that you have. So from this farther up location, you got a chance at the rough bump right there. Farther back, you have a chance at the rough bump right there. But farther back, you also have a chance to play the shot off this fairway, which, you know, in the lower level divisions is most likely what you'll be playing with the Viper or the Sniper. This is definitely a sniper hole, so if you have a sniper, this is definitely the place to use it in the lower divisions. That ball guide is just a lifesaver here on this hole. So figuring out how you're going to play it, the winds on the second shot will definitely also kind of mess around with the way we play elevation change-wise. But if you're playing just the regular shot from the fairway, from fairway to fairway with left spin and backspin, then I would play that shot 0%. Now, as far as the rough bumps go, 0% is going to be the base, but then you may also be factoring in some wind, some secondary wind effect into your elevation as well on those shots. All right, y'all, that is it. Quick run through. These are all old holes. I definitely strongly encourage you to go and check out content from the Monster Marsh tournament. I will be putting some of it in the 19th hole in the announcement section from my previous tournament in the Monster Marsh tournament. So I definitely encourage you to go check that out to kind of refamiliarize yourself with these holes and what you may expect on Monday when qualifications begin. So, appreciate y'all being here. Y'all have a great day, and I'm going to go with the 49ers as my prediction to win the Super Bowl. Take care. God bless. Later on.